Yeah.
That just infuriates me, man. I did not know that that was a thing. I'm serious. I didn't know what he said. It's this whole cycle, ready, set, ready, set. And so not, literally, like, my whole 30 years of an adult, more than 30 years of adulthood is just, like, flashed before my eyes. I'm looking at the, you know, the times when the evangelist would come, right, to bring healing every year. Same guy. And the same people would be going forward for healing.
Right.
The same people every time. Oh, my ankle was healed! Ah, it was healed! The same woman next year.
Yeah.
And the year after.
So guilt is sickness, obviously. Shame is sickness. Broke is sickness. So if I keep you broke, you're coming back because I got what you need. If I keep you frustrated, that's sick, right? Yeah. So if you stay in that state of insanity, I have a blueprint to keep you there, and trigger your senses and whatever it is that you want. Well, why wouldn't I do that if I'm making millions off of you, and your people, and your referrals, and your testimony of what I gave you that you feel good now, but it's not sustainable. It brings very short results, but the outcome is you stay in bondage, and you're sick, and the other stuff, not physically sick, I'm talking about like real sickness where you're not free. Yes. You're not free in every area of your life.
So you just basically explained Alyssa.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just explained, you know, Drew. You just explained the Gorans, like literally, like these.
But there's
people...
no books out there that teach you how to be free, and people don't read the Bible on how to be free because they'd rather stay sick.
No, because the teachers are teaching them how to stay sick. They're keeping them sick.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So therefore, let's just teach a bunch of hype and a whole bunch of fluff.
Right.
Versus our people get free from debt. They get free from the bondage that's inside their marriage. And so this is what I've been seeing. And I want you to talk more about because you've been intriguing me so much. Like, why are you here? Why here? And every time I hear you talk in any of our meetings, it's like, this is why. This is what we do.
I'm Rebecca Bain. I am from Gillette, Wyoming. Prior to coming to First Steps to Success, I was a complete mess. Completely dishonoring my husband, consistently in front of our employees. I had children that I was going to own this weekend, verbally, mentally, and physically abusive to my own kids. My 4-year-old daughter would look at me with absolute terror in her eyes because of the way I treated her. You know, it's bad when the thing that you make that you want to love looks at you with terror. And I had somebody refer me to Dani Johnson. And I am so glad that I came to my first Steps to Success. Came in October 2016. In the 18 months following, my husband and I paid off $157,000 in debt. We are completely debt-free. While doing that, we paid cash to go on an anniversary trip for our 10-year anniversary to tour Europe. We also went to Nicaragua and worked with the extreme poor and worked to bring hope and life to those people. We've also accumulated $85,000 in savings to put towards investment. We have 1 rental property, and we have another $200,000 we've already invested. We were also able to give $47,000 to the extreme poor last year. We have done everything you can do.
I've been seeing this woman's beautiful face here and had no idea that this was your story.
Yeah.
I just know I see you all the time. I had no idea. So how much debt have you paid off?
$157,000.
In how long?
18 months. Oh, and we grew our business 25% over the last year.
So grew your business, your furniture store grew 25%.
Yes.
You almost doubled the amount of employees, which means you've offered more opportunity, and that is changing lives, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I have more of a bottom line, even though I have more people.
So your profits are up, even though you hired more people.
Yeah.
And you gave, and you took care of the poor, and you went to Nicaragua.
Oh, and I used to work 45 hours a week and stay up until 3 a.m. Now I get up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, work out, come home, spend my day with my family. I work like maybe 20 hours a week.
And you used to work how much?
45, stay up until 3 a.m., get up at like 7 a.m., yell at everyone in the house because I was never fully rested.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is.
Your whole life.
Changed. The marriage, the kids.
Thank you. You can go back to your seat. Amazing job. Proud of you. So I'm going to tell you what I've been seeing. What I've been seeing is that there's so much of this advertising. I see the one who's sick, right? They're heart sick. They're hopeless. And they're hiding it, which is a level of sickness that's worse.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Right.
I mean, the one who's hiding, it's like this. It's like the poor guy or girl who is a drug addict or an alcoholic, which is the world that I come from, but they're showing up to work, trying to smell better. Trying to put it on, right?
Yeah.
Trying to put the face on. That is sick beyond sick, right? It's now I'm trying to hide that I'm sick, right? And that's where most of the people are today, right? So here we have these leaders who are literally, and this is the way I see it, and it makes me sick to my stomach. And I'm literally watching, like in droves, people being brought into captivity, into captivity of more financial, like, suicide.
Yeah.
You know, it's a financial suicide that's happening. It's a financial cancer that is happening.
Yeah.
And yet they already have the cancer, and yet they're being drawn into more, saying, no, this is going to help, this is going to help. And it doesn't help.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't help.
It's a prison. It's a freedom prison.
Which
Because
is disgusting.
Right, yeah.
You know, and then on top of that, because, okay, so money is the problem, and it is. Money is the problem. It's money that is causing the fights in the marriage. It's money of how they're using their money that is causing them to snap at their kids. And then there's the parent who is totally terrified that their kid's going to hate them one day.
Right.
But they're trying to fix each problem, so they're reactive to everything, and you really don't have a solution for anything. You go to church, or you go to your mentor, you get enlightened, it feels good, but you really don't solve anything.
Yeah.
Because when it gets time to address the problem, you're gonna react to the problem because there's no freedom. You're reactive all the time, and that's actually bait for them. Oh, you know, everybody's reactive. So if I put something out there, everybody's hungry. They want it.
So I'm watching these people by the millions, literally being. This is the picture I have in my head. It's like they've purposely fattened the pigs. Now I see them in droves being herded in to events. Pillage, plunder, rape.
But that's exactly what they want, though.
And they're raping
That's exactly
the
what-
kids'
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
They're raping the generation. They are raping the future wealth. They are raping the future health.
Yeah.
That's what's being raped, as literally I see they've all been fattened up by our society, led straight into the barn, where now they are being slaughtered. And it is an abortion of
Oh my gosh, yes.
the destiny.
And the purpose, yeah.
And the
Abortion
integrity.
of the
Yeah.
Totally.
And the
purpose.
integrity, like
Yes.
the integrity of the people in the room. It's not just the money, it's not just the business, it's not just the relationships. It's how they view themselves as a person and their integrity. It's so much deeper than just the money.
So let me ask you this. So, Andy, what makes us different? Because you came from a similar industry. When you first heard about the opening that we had here, you did tons of research on us. You went to First Steps, and I saw you on Sunday night of your first Steps, and you were like, you were gonna explode. You were gonna explode. There was like so much that you needed to articulate, and you were gonna explode. And I knew that you saw it, that this is not about us plundering and pillaging people. It's about taking their handcuffs off and pulling and having their eyes open so they can see the destruction that they have been led into, the destruction that they literally have been driven to, and they don't even know why they're in the mess that they're in. They don't even know how they got there, and it's not what they intended, it's not what their heart wanted, but yet they've become something that they don't want to be.
Exactly.
And so what is different? Because you've worked with all those big famous people.
Yeah.
What is different about what we do? You've been to all those big, huge pitch fest events.
Yeah. It's not another candy. It's not another lollipop, or it's not another ice cream that's just gonna make you fat and want more of that that's got no essence to it. There's no calories that are good for you. All they're doing is growing crap in your body, to put it in those terms. And so when I prayed and I was looking you up and doing my research, I was so sick of going through big corporations, interviewing and asking questions to big names, and they couldn't even answer the questions, basic stuff, because that's not my department. This is, and I'm thinking, who are you doing this for? Your customers? Or because now you're getting the big paycheck? Or like, like, what's your compromise? Everybody has a compromise. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I came home and I was frustrated, and I was like, man, God, like, this is bull crap. Like, just like, what can I do that matters? And then I just started just going for it, and I was just like, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. And you flip the coin around, and people are like, yeah, I want this car, I want this house, I want this wife, I want this. And I'm like, screw all that. Like, I want significance, but not for me. I want significance in what I'm doing. I don't want to just build a new app, a new website, a new product, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and that's exactly, I was watching your stuff on spiritual teachings, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she freaking gets it. And you were not afraid because you don't care about the money, right? Yeah. So it's like, people don't talk like that, right? People don't talk like that from pulpit, because one, they'll lose an attendance, and they lose the reputation. Yeah. Which
there goes an offering.
Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so there's so much compromise in the marketplace, and even from corporate America. They don't want to say this and they don't want to say that. Why? Because they'd rather say the message that's keeping everybody else sick than really be themselves, And then there's a fake themselves, too. That it's very dangerous, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm being genuine, I'm being real, and this is what you're getting, but it's a trained, it's false humility. It's just going out there in the marketplace and just letting them have it, so that there's more credibility, and now they consume your products, and they're never free.
Meaning they're never, the person that bought the books, or the person that...
They don't find a solution within your products. They find more problems, and that's exactly what the enemy wants. The enemy wants to bring your sins up so that they keep accusing you. Yeah. And they keep you going back for more. And that's not freedom. Freedom is seeing your sin, but then seeing, oh my gosh, Jesus paid for that. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So now it's like, no, that doesn't have a hold on me anymore.
So how does let's take that to corporate, take that to business. So how do business people trick their people in that same way?
Because they don't give them real solutions. They give them the promise, mm-hmm. and they give them their testimony, mm-hmm. or whatever it is that they want to promise, mm-hmm. but the road there, it's impossible, because they didn't make it there like that either. Mm-hmm. So how is anybody, even let somebody that doesn't have any experience, that's brand new, that's getting swept up in the current of deception that they have going on, and it's professionally done, anybody falls for that. So you go to anybody, like the funnels, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And you get this whole enlightenment. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do, and then what do? It's like honey to the bees. It's like you go gravitate towards the promise, but you have no clue how to get there, right?
And it's like you never reach it.
And they keep feeding you the promise, right. And that's exactly what keeps them hungry, the promise, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to get a meal. You're going to get a meal. And it's heartless. It's horrible, because these people are starving. Mm-hmm. And it's not just like starving food-wise. They're starving for freedom. Mm-hmm. They want to be free in their finances and their marriage and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then right now, I have a promise. And if I do this long enough, and if I go here, whatever, all this... whatever the requisites are, I will do it, because that's exactly what I want. And their compromise for that dream is keeping them bound to their own crap.
So they end up sacrificing their family.
Everything, yes.
Their health.
And do you think they care? Obviously not.
Meaning the leader.
Yeah. They may say they care from pulpit, because they have to keep the dream. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Or the stage, whatever. Mm-hmm. There's plenty, it's all the same crap. Mm-hmm. But they don't care. They don't care. If you put them in the same room with that person, they would never weep with them.
So tell me, what was it that you saw that was different? Like, what tells you that what did you see at First Steps, and you've been here
You're not holding back. You're not holding back. You're giving it just as it is. You're not care about keeping your reputation, right? You care about people because you can tell, and it's coming across, and you're giving people a solution. Now it's up to them to grab the solution and implement them, because this is the real solution, right?
Yeah.
So you have a roadmap. Now, if I implement A, B, C, D, I'm gonna get results, and then I'm gonna come back and be like, look, these are my results, and that's what's happening.
Yes.
People have testimonies right away from event to event. This is what's happening. Look, my marriage is tons better. I've saved this much money. I've paid this much in debt.
I've cut my hours back.
Right. So go anywhere else. Go anywhere else and tell me who is doing that. Right? How many people are getting results where they're going, right? So that's it, because we're giving people the ticket to freedom. Now, whether they take it or not, that's a different story. And that's another thing, I mean, that if right now I've been burned by so many people, you're obviously going to look for the bad.
Totally.
And that's exactly why, what's going on.
Yep. And it is, and it's so sad because
we're
where
in
the
a
market is.
We're in a market that's like, it's all lures all over the place, and people are getting,
There's so many lures, and people are jaded. And they should be jaded. They should be jaded, which is so sad. Really, really sad. And so you're saying that one of the things that differentiates us is that we actually give them stuff that works, that gives them results immediately. Versus keeping them in the loop of the lure. You know
what rat poison is? It's 99%. Right, 99% enticement, 1% poison.
Ooh!
And that's what they do. I mean,
that's what's out there.
99% of it is
entertainment
to bring you in, to to lure you in any way that where you're lacking. But we're not doing that though. That's manipulation. Like, we really want people free.
Yes.
And there's no other if, ands, or buts about it. You really want people free, and that came across for me, and I'm like, okay.
But what tells you that we really want them free?
What? Your message. You're not holding anything back. You're giving me the A through Z formula, and you're telling me, and these people are coming forth, and you can tell their hearts are genuine and are broken. And I'm like, because this whole industry have beat them up. Look for this. This is success. That's success. Defining things that they had no way of defining for themselves before, so that they can pitch them something that they don't need, and drain their bank account, or drain their time, or drain whatever it is. The Bible calls the devil the waster. Right? And that's what he does. He wastes your life on everything else, and nothing ever changes, and it's insanity. So if we give people the A through Z on how to do this,
we got to figure out how to communicate that, though. You know what I mean? Because they all say that. All those gurus say they're going to give you the A to Z, but to me, the only thing that proves whether or not that it's there is the results.
Yeah. Had I not found this, when I think about where I would be had I not come to my first steps, it just sends shivers up and down my spine. I doubt that I'd have a family, and I'm not sure if I'd still be alive. Just looking at the way I was dealing with stuff, and looking at what I've walked through, so the ups and downs of the last 7 years, I don't think I would have made it. So we've paid off $225,000 in 4 years. We have $220,000 in investments and $600,000 in savings. So
I am Sean, and that's my beautiful wife, Deidre McGeever. We've paid off just over $220,000 in debt. We are debt-free. We have $85,000 in savings and over $400,000 in investments.
My name is Lara Tibielli. 3 years ago, I came to Orlando to my very first step to success, and since then, we have paid off $480,000 in debt. We are completely debt-free. We have no debt, and yes, it feels really good. Yes, and not only that, we have over $200,000 in our savings accounts. We have investment property, and we have. My husband, he negotiated this new job in Atlanta, Georgia, and he got an amazing raise, like unbelievable number that he put on paper, and he said, honey, we're going to pray about this, and this is what I'm asking for. And they said yes. and yeah, it's been just great. Not just our finances. Our marriage has been amazing. Before I got here, that was like my pain points. Like we had just my husband was so busy, so we had such a boring kind of marriage, if you can imagine what I mean. But
what is that?
Boring.
Boring.
Like very boring, yes.
Like very boring.
Like very boring, yeah.
Like nothing happened between the two of you.
But no longer boring, yeah. We have a hot. Yes, it's been amazing. And yes, we're raising our kids for success. I mean, I communicate with my kids. I was crushing, making her cry, and she was terrified, literally, like I was just trying to get her to be like me. It was just terrible. But now she tells me, Mom, you're such a good mom. You're such a good mom. I mean, to hear that from your kids, you know, you're so encouraging, Mom. It's just great. Thank you, Dani. It's just, my life has completely changed. I don't recognize myself. It's been 3 years, and we just keep coming because people ask, why do you keep coming? Because we don't even know who we are anymore. We're changed people. I'm so thankful that, yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. I actually went to college just for 2 years to get my associates, and I was actually, every single month I paid my student loans in cash every month. I still had student loans left, and in 6 months I paid all that off, so I was debt-free before coming to Dani. But I utilized the training, the war on debt, everything that I could possibly do, and it helped me to create wealth. I have about over 30K in investments, over 30K in savings, and I'm able to travel the world. I'm able to increase my income a lot more. My faith is so strong, and I owe it all to this amazing training, and it's possible. It's absolutely possible. I am 26 years old. It is possible.
I'm Dave Socklaben. We're 100% debt-free and paid off our mortgage a year and a half ago, freeing day. Paid off over $300,000 in debt, eliminated $1,350 of fat, plus we kept limiting more after that. And plus we have, I just bought my 5th investment property recently and planning on buying more. And I want to tell you something. Dani's system is simple. And that's what I love about it. It's simple. And my life was a wreck. I got in such financial bondage. Dani doesn't know this, but I actually was so depressed due to finances. I'm a real estate agent. I was driving to a property to park my car in the garage running. And to end my life, this was about 10 years ago. And, it's just the financial bondage. And I eliminated, it was amazing. I added everything up, and I was paying out almost $3,900 a month in payments to things. And then after I got on debt on August 15th, it was like there was more money in my bank account. It was like it didn't disappear. And you all, just imagine that. Just imagine what it feels like to have money still in your account when you used to have it just disappear. So, Dani, thank you so much. And we appreciate you. And we appreciate, I'll just add one more thing, is due to the financial problems, and some of you may be experiencing this, I had a lot of self-hatred because I felt like a failure. I mean, I remember thinking of that verse, a man who can't supply his own house is worse than an infidel. Yeah. And it just beat myself up for it. So it is worth all the work, all the effort to get out of debt and to have that freedom. And how it'll make you feel will be amazing. The freedom it gives you. Thank you, Dani.
We have people who are now debt-free. We have people who are now financially independent. We have people in this room, who have reached financial independence. We have people inside this building who live out the teaching, and because of that teaching, grown their income, paid off debt. like radically change their relationships, radically reduce their stress. So we have to figure out a way to be able to communicate that, because the self-proclaimed experts of our land, whether that's a spiritual one or it's a business one, they, like you said, that is probably the best analogy I've ever seen in my life, and I'm going to talk about it. Totally. That you know, they want you sick, right? So they just can keep telling you, okay, well, now you need this pill. It's the same as the medical industry. It's the same exact thing. Okay. What I gave you created 3 more side effects. Now you need these 3 other pills. Okay. So it's the same thing. Okay, the book I gave you, you know, the book I gave you created these other 3 side effects. Okay, so now you need this whole other thing.
Or you need these other 3 books to reach this.
Yep. Exactly.
Because this one wasn't enough, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, or you have this book, now you need this training to implement this training, and then you can get to where you want to be.
And you never get to where you want to be. And that's the difference. The difference with us is, yes, we have a book, and yes, we have training, and yes, we have live events and training seminars, but there's not going to be 15 people on a stage pitching you 15 different things that you do not need. They're super good at telling you need them. Right. They're super. It's like this freaking Squatty Potty. I wish I could have it right now and just hold it up. What does the guy say on the Squatty Potty ad? Who doesn't poop right? You don't.
Yeah.
You suck at pooping, is what he said. But no one thought that they sucked at pooping until he told you, you suck at pooping, right? And that's exactly what's happening from the pitch fest of the stage, where it's, again, here's the big promise, everything's going to change, and yet you leave there in more bondage, but feeling okay about it for about a week. For about a week, and you have no results.
Then you go back to your life, become reactive. Yeah, the whole cycle starts over again, and then you got to go back for the hit of the endorphin.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then to implement it, you have to completely disregard your integrity, your values, your family, where you want to be.
Yeah.
I have a question.
And I say, like, you know, go to a concert if you want some endorphins. Go to a theme park. It's a lot cheaper than a pitch fest.
Yeah.
But if you really want results, you come to DaniJohnson.com. You really want results, you come to First Steps to Success. Yeah. How do we know? Tens of thousands of testimonials.
That right there, what you just did, that sounds like a regular sales pitch, but it's not, because you really care about these people. You know what I mean? But because they've been told that before, then they're desensitized to come to DaniJohnson.com. You're gonna get free. Yeah. Well, I've been told that before.
Yeah.
Well,
my pastor tells me that. Right. My celebrity pastor, the pastor I watch on TV, all the business trainers tell me that. The motivational speaker. I know. That's like we need. I know.
Because it's like people say the exact same things we do.
I know.
People.
But they can't produce. They can't produce the goods.
I hear what you guys are saying, but I disagree with the fact that you guys are saying that other people don't have stories.
Do you remember in the very beginning?
Yes.
Right? Remember that the magicians would produce the same thing. Yeah, the magicians produce the same exact thing.
Yeah.
But it's
and you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And there are some stories out there, whether or not there's the volume of stories.
Right. And we'll never know how true they actually are. Just like nobody's going to know how true our stories actually are.
Or what they really had to do that.
I'll tell you what, just like nobody's going to know for us, what did the Gorans actually have to do to make $7 million?
I'll tell you what sets us apart is that never, in all of the conferences that I've been at, and I would imagine yours too, has anyone ever said, if you do not feel this is worth it, I will give you all of your money back for coming. Never. Never have I heard that. Never did I experience that. It's that authenticity. We believe in this so much that when it's over, that's how much we believe in it. It's that authenticity. And that
Becky,
comes
can you
through.
tell us, like, because you're in the same boat that he's in, and again, and the sad thing is, and I know what you're saying. Okay, yeah, there's some stories that are out there that, you know, were different types of, and I think there's some good people out there that do some great stuff, and I also know there is some not good people out there that are literally raping and pillaging people, and that's specifically what I'm talking about. Yeah. And then there are some who know how to you know, produce some stories and stuff like that. At what rate, I have no idea, and for who, I have no idea. Right. And like what you were saying, like what did that person have to do to do it? You know, when we say someone made $1 million, yeah, they spent 2.5 to make the one.
Right.
That's not making $1 million. It's the same I see in the direct selling industry.
Yeah.
Oh, I've made $1 million. No, they didn't. They're calculating over 10 years.
Right.
Well, any person who makes 6 figures for 10 years can tell that same stupid story. It's not a real deal. No, it's That's not real. You know what I mean? Or the people who are like, yeah, I just made $1 million, but they went $1 million in debt, which means you made nothing.
Yeah.
The guy on welfare is making more than you. That's 0, but all they're doing is pitching what the positive is. But I have a question for you, because Becky, you guys are very, very similar in who you've seen, who you've worked with. You've been behind the scenes of the most popular people that are on Facebook and that are pitching all of these pitch fests. So what drew you here? What I've seen you in tears so many times as we've all been working together in here and through the events. Like, what is different to you? What sets DaniJohnson.com First Steps to Success apart?
For me, it was, first of all, that you were a single mother, which is what I was. But second of all, it was the authenticity. It was the fact
But
that...
what's authenticity?
Right, well, that's what I'm saying, is that you don't say, you say, I'm going to show you what I did because I was where you are.
Yeah.
But you don't say, just spend this much money in order to get the results I got. You don't say...
Wait. Time out.
Yes.
Time out. Open that can of worms up. What do you mean by that?
So you were just talking about how the gurus who, they spend $1 million to make $1 million.
Right.
So they go out there and they say, I just made $1 million. But they don't tell you that they spent more than that to make it. You are so transparent about the exact steps
And my
about
failures.
the toll that it had on your family. The toll that it had on your family, and you are like, don't be me. You say, don't make these mistakes, because this, when you were running after success with everything you had and working 100 hours a week, this is the toll it had on your children and on your health. And this is the toll that it will have on you if you do what I did. So don't be stupid, don't be me.
Right.
But other people out there, they don't show you that. They don't show you the toll it is taken on their marriage to get that success. They don't show you the toll that it's taken on their bank account to get that success. Quite honestly, they don't tell you the lies that they've told to get that success until you get behind the scenes and then you find out. These are the lies. These are the gray areas. These are the things that I don't say from stage. I have this person up here who is the new expert who did these amazing things because they did what I said. I just built this new expert. And that $1 million cost them $800,000 in ads, plus the people that they paid to do it, plus the toll on their marriage, plus the fact
100
that
hours a week.
100 hours a week, plus the fact that's all they've done for 2 years.
How do we?
So it's not painting the full picture. You're saying where you've
Exactly.
been, the people that you've worked with, they did not tell the full picture.
They don't tell the full picture until...
So they just position it to look
Right.
beautiful.
Yes.
And not expose the full price that had to be paid. So when you said,
Exactly.
when you said
Until
they're
you're
not
behind
telling
the
you-
scenes.
until you're behind the scenes
No.
and then you see it. So then you're saying like they didn't say how much they spent to make the $1 million. So when you say what they spent, because I know personally, and I know social media people that they spent millions to buy likes. That then position them as a social media expert, right? Selling social media training to people on social media. It's a brilliant business model, right? So you look like you're an expert because you bought, but they don't tell you that up front. But then in some cases they do, and they're telling you just buy the success. It's the same as where I came from in the direct selling industry. When I was a teenager, they tell that first mentor. Yeah, the mentor told me to buy a $5,000 suit, so I looked successful. Go into debt to buy a Mercedes, so you look successful. You know, one of my other mentors said, you guys need to buy a big house and you need to invite your people to your house so they can see what success looks like. Right. You need to dress the part. We didn't have the money to be doing all of that, but it was about creating a perception to people so that people, and we paid the price of it. Like almost $1 million worth of debt. Hans and I hating each other. Like so much pressure that I had a heart attack at 24. Right? Wanting to kill myself at 25. So you're saying that's not being told. The full price is not being sold. Right. And then not to mention, but I figured out the road of how to get it without it costing that much.
Right. You were there and you were in the pit
and ready to walk away.
And you did all the things that, you know, caused your health to fail. Yeah. But then you figured out how to be successful without that. And how to actually spend time with your children. Yeah. How you are not spending and proud of on social media, you know, you're being at work all night long and asking your team
they sell that to be at work all night long. This stuff makes me so mad, Becky.
And the programs that are being sold out there, you don't know until you've spent the money on them. Yeah. That they're not delivering, or that they're only going to deliver a portion. And seeing the difference, and seeing in many places where you say, this is not benefiting me to tell you this.
Right.
I get nothing from this.
Right.
This is not benefiting me.
Right.
And yeah, there's a little bit of that, well, you know, it's that skepticism. But all you have to do is dig in a little bit to see the authenticity and the integrity. And the fact that, you know, when you give someone the tools, it is not at the expense of the person's integrity to implement them.
Right.
You can implement the tools at First Steps with honor.
Yes.
You can implement these things.
Not manipulating
with
people.
integrity.
Yes.
No manipulation. No smokes and mirrors. It is true integrity in implementation of these principles that leads you to success. Because, quite honestly, if you try to implement these principles without integrity,
you screw yourself.
No way.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, you'll reap what you sow.
Yeah. It's absolutely not gonna happen. And it's just night and day. It's just night and day. I mean, I couldn't even be in it anymore because it was so disgusting. It made me sick. I was like, I don't care. You know? The cost is not worth what I'm getting.
Yeah, you can buy credibility. Like
so
true.
You can buy
true.
The face of credibility.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like,
and people
example,
do. In fact, people are teaching people how to do that.
Right.
People literally are writing books and teaching people how to buy credibility. How to fabricate credibility.
So you can get a ghostwriter, and if you got a big enough following, you're going to become a bestseller.
Totally.
You're not a bestseller, neither did you. You didn't write the book, and you're not really a bestseller. But now I've got the credibility to pretty much tell you how to live your life because I'm on the pulpit.
But they're not going to teach that part. They're not going to teach how to buy the credibility.
No. If I have a way to deceive you, I'm not going to teach you how to deceive other people. Because then you're not deceived anymore.
Until you pay me enough money, and then I'll teach you how I deceive the other people, and then so that you can deceive them too.
And then maybe that's a testimony. But, I mean, I would say that most of it is rat poison, obviously. A lot of deception, and you know, you're keeping the masses sick. And if you do have testimonies. There's people that they do have results, but it's very area focused. Let's just say finances, right? Or
but that's the only thing they're promising.
Right.
Or it's not sustainable.
Right. So there's programs, or there are programs that can help you with your finances to, like, you know, get out of debt or whatever, or your marriage or whatever. But a lot of them, they create results, right? Immediate results. But the problem that's causing every other problem, including that, which is spending or whatever, it's never dealt with, right? So if I teach you how to quit smoking, but you're drinking, there's still addiction. There's still dependency. There is an appetite that you have to kill. So we take care of the appetite, and we expose it. So we're in the light, right? The Bible says, bring it to the light as I am in the light, and then all this stuff, you know, is exposed now. So we teach from the light. You know what I mean? So nothing's hidden. We're not just hiding these other areas, trying to get you free on this area, but you're still going to be bound, so you're going to come back for more, right?
Yeah.
So if we really expose the root system,
It's like we teach from the foundation
then
up
you get the
instead of
picture.
from the
See,
top up.
Dani can say one thing from stage, and everybody else can understand something different from their circumstance, because she's speaking in the light, right? So you see your crap for your crap. You're not just seeing a teaching on a subject that you need to change behavior on. Right?
Yeah, we don't change behaviors.
And it's a whole life
We
thing.
change
It's a
the
default.
roots.
It's a default of you understanding, and now you're like, I'm enlightened by understanding truth, and then the truth sets me free, and then I walk in light. And that's the difference between what the industry does, including church, and what we are doing right now. I think we're really offering people, come in the light so you can see this stuff.
Yeah, but see, that's been pitched so much.
Yeah.
That has been a slogan for probably 50 years. Do you know what I mean? So it has a pre-programmed, a predisposition inside of all those, you know, people who consider themselves believers.
Right.
You know? I know that from nursery school.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what people would say. It's like, oh yeah. But I think from a practical standpoint, I think what's important to understand of what we do is that we don't deal with the symptoms of their life.
Right.
We deal with the root problem of what is actually happening. So we're not dealing with your mind. No, your mind is going to let us know is going to lead us to where the root problem is. And so we deal with the foundation. There's cracks in the foundation. Maybe the foundation had an earthquake or several, like in my life. Like,
exactly.
earthquakes every week in my marriage. But anyway, so just all the, you know what I mean? So what the ground is like unsettled, and yet we're trying to build, you know, a future on that thing that's just like, either it's like, it's just not solid. There's not something solid there. And so most...
It's a fun house.
And most people are dealing with just what's right here, the problem that's right here. And so first steps to success, we help you to get under it all and go,
How do you make that success?
I know. How do we communicate that?
Yes.
I know.
But the thing
I know.
is,
Like I'm
I
excited
don't
about this
think-
year because we have got to figure this out.
Yes.
I don't
we have to
think,
figure it out.
Danny, I don't think we have to communicate that. I think you realize that personally.
No, we
No,
know
but
that
we
the
have to
attendees
get
do.
the
We're
word
not
out.
talking about the people who
Exactly.
don't
Yes.
know what we
Exactly.
do.
Yes.
That's the point of our conversation. Is like what differentiates us. And you're being phenomenal with this. It's like but other people say that too.
Right.
Just like when you were saying no, we're the we teach people to walk in the light. So does every Sunday school teacher. So does everybody else. But what difference does it make? No, it's just head knowledge.
Right.
It's more head knowledge
Right.
that I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to apply this in my daily life. From the time I get up in the morning, good job. The time I get up in the morning to heading to work, to the first words that I say to my spouse, to what I do with my kids, to afterwards, and then I find myself in a funk. What do I do with it? Right? So it's like, anyway, you guys, this conversation has been like super, super helpful because we really have to figure this out. We have to figure out how do we communicate what we really are, who we really are, and the results that we really get. And that, you can match up two stories from all these different people and go, but what's behind that story? Right?
And
So
when you-
many of our people that have cut back their hours and made more versus and you hit on something that just infuriates me. There was some trainer several years back that was telling people 90 days 90 hours a week. Mothers who work full-time 90 days 90 hours, you will not recognize your finances in 90 days 90 hours a week. 90 days. It was a campaign. It was a challenge, and I was like, no. Do you know what you know what kind of disaster you can create in 90 days? You'll be divorced in 90 days. You know, your kid will end up on drugs in 90 days. Do you know what you will do in 90 days? You could end up in the hospital in 90 days, 90 hours a week. You could end up with making so much damage in 90 days, working 90 hours a week, some of which that if you do not do what First Step Success teaches you, it's
It actually took me
irreparable.
only 2 weeks.
No, you can in 2 weeks. But I'm saying
No,
it's
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take 90 days. It took
No.
me 2 weeks to get in the hospital from working. So
like that, exactly, when you were
So,
working on that film.
Yeah.
Yeah, working on a film.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, working those kind of hours, put him in the hospital. So my point is that in 90 days, someone can, they can lay out this incredible plan that's making this incredible promise, and yet here they go. Why? Because the person is desperate for change. They have the debt. They need to pay it off. This is the hope. This is the lottery ticket. This is going to be the change. And the thing is that what we deal with is, it's that right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That right there. What you're being manipulated to think,
Yes.
what you're being manipulated to do, and what you're being led to, and the fact that you're not even thinking about what will happen in 90 days if I sacrifice my marriage, my health, my kids,
For one thing, for
life,
one outside.
for one thing
One outside
that
thing.
cannot fix those things. And how do I
Right.
know? Because I did that. I did that. I was told the same thing. Get 7 years of your life, sacrifice everything. When you pick up your head 7 years from now, you'll be able to write a check for every problem that needs to be solved. I'm like, I'm not able to write a check to heal my marriage.
Or the time you lost.
The time that I lost with my
With your
baby.
kids.
My baby.
Right.
Even trying to get a debt, some of those, it's like, do it at the expense of your marriage and your children. And it's not just about business. It's not just about growing a business. It can also be other things like trying to get out of debt. Doing it at the expense of your relationships so that you can get out of debt. I've said it before. I'd rather be in debt and have a relationship with my child.
Yes.
And see my children.
I keep coming back to something you said, Becky, which is that the 30-day guarantee, right? Like if you leave the event and 30 days later you don't have something, we will give you your money back.
Right.
Actually, we don't want your money.
Yeah.
If you're not going to get results,
Right, exactly.
in 30 days with what you learn in 3 days at First Steps, I don't want your money.
Exactly.
We don't want your money.
Yeah.
You know, and
Because
another-
we are
So
not a
maybe
partner in
that's-
your
Maybe that's
change.
part of what it is if you don't have a story in 30 days.
Yeah.
If you have not paid off debt,
Right.
if you have not improved
Exactly.
your life, whatever it is that you came to First Step Success for, if you have not improved that area, 30 days later,
Take your money back.
we don't want it.
We don't want
and,
it.
and mind you, we're taking it from an orphan,
Right.
right? That's the reality. But the orphan doesn't want your money if all you did was blow it and did not do what it took to succeed. We don't want it. We don't want nothing to do. That's not clean money. We are not entertainers.
And I wonder if it's
We're not a
actually
show.
cheaper in the long run to refund that, because then the people who do come will actually get the results that it'll make up for the by far more.
Yeah, I had written that same thing down about that same thing. That thing that I told you. It's like if you're not getting results,
Exactly.
if you're going to all these different gurus and all these different trainers and you're just in the loop, you're in the loop of sickness, you're still as sick as you were, right? When you come to First Steps, you're not going to be as sick as you were. You're not going to have all your problems solved overnight, but you will have some distinct changes that's not only going to shock you, but it's going to shock everyone around you. One of the most common things that people say when they've left and they go back is that even their spouse who wasn't at the event with them goes, "What happened to you?"
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Alyssa and that's Alyssa and her husband, Gabriel, right? He's like, "What happened to you?" All right. And because the marriage was so toxic, it's like, "Yeah, I'm going to wait and see how long does this last." It's 30 days later and she's still a different woman. He's like, "All right, when's that next event? I got to go check out what happened to my wife."
Well, what about Sam and April? That result saved their marriage, and it was the
Who?
husband who went. Sam and April Winder. Sam went to the event. He came back. He was so changed. She went. And now it has completely transformed their marriage and their children.
Yeah.
Their entire family. And they're bringing more
we
people.
had the same exact thing happen in Latvia. So when we did Dynasty in Latvia, okay, there was a wife that went to Dynasty. The husband had not gone to Dynasty. And she came out of that event, and he was like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
He booked a plane ticket from Latvia, Germany. She was from Germany, so she went from Germany to. In fact, she was on the stage. In fact, I know exactly. Wow, I know exactly who this is and what it was. I mean, she was ready. She was ready to walk. She was not nice to her husband at all. Not nice at all. So this man literally, in a week's time, because of the change that he witnessed in her, and you know when it's fake. Come on. If you've ever been in a marriage like mine was for so many years, I promise I'll change. I'll promise I'll change. It takes 3 days to see that change isn't sticking. That's all it takes, right? It takes 3 freaking days. That's it. So here, seriously. No, I promise I'll change. There's no change.
That's the behavior. That's
exactly,
the
because that's what they're
versus-
because that's if we teach behavior, and if people teach behavior, people who teach behavior keep people sick.
Right.
That's it.
Because
That's it. So look, all you have to do is take this pill,
Yeah.
but I'm still eating all the crap that's
You're-
making
you're-
me sick.
you're-
I haven't changed my lifestyle, so I'm still sick.
You're a
Right?
factory for that behavior.
Absolutely.
You gotta change. Once you change, everything changes.
And it has to change from the inside out.
Right.
Not, I'm going to change where I put my hands. I'm going to stop looking at pornography. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop cussing. I'm going to stop, telling my boss off or telling my staff off. I'm going to stop all these things. People go to events and that's what they go to church and they hear what they have to stop. But they can't.
Right.
They still do because we haven't dealt with what's happening from the inside. Where is it coming from?
Yeah,
Bottom
and-
line, so
and-
this
and-
woman in Germany, she goes back home. Her husband is waiting and watching. He books a plane ticket from Germany all the way to San Diego to attend Dynasty. That's the difference he saw. And again, you know it. You can feel it. He sensed, like, this is a different woman. And so you were saying something about that thing. So to me, it's like if you're going to you've been like lassoed in, you've been seduced, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it. You woke up in the morning, you heard that the seminar was in a different city that night, and it was that rat poison perhaps. It's that, oh my gosh, I gotta go, because they're good marketers. And you went. If you're not getting results like we get, that our clients get out of First Steps to Success,
You stop what you're doing.
you better stop what you're freaking doing.
Yeah.
Well,
And get registered for First Steps to Success.
To me, results is not. I'm gonna take action on this. Or I wrote all these notes. Results is like, I'm determined. This is not me anymore. Yeah. Like you get it. You're like, this is not who I am.
You can't help
This
but be
is not.
different.
And then everything else changes
Yes.
because
Yeah.
you see yourself from a totally different lens. Then you don't. That's no longer a hassle or a wrestle with anything, any of that stuff, because you're just like. It's like if right now you've cleansed yourself from all of the crap, now you're walking clean and everything's organized. Why would you want to go back to something that you can clearly see as a mess? When you're in the mess, you don't see the mess. Yeah. But once you're out, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than that. So then you don't have to make a decision to not do this and this and this and this and that.
Yeah.
You're
Totally.
a
It's
different
automatic.
person.
It's automatic.
Which is what happened to you guys.
Yeah.
It was totally automatic. And it's so weird when you look at the mess, you're like, that smell was there all this time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't smell
And
it.
that's the difference between law and freedom.
Yeah.
Law tells you how to get free.
Again.
I know, but
There it is again.
But people need to know that.
No, they've been told that, dude. Andy,
I
they've
know.
been taught it, they've been trained it. We have got to communicate and figure out how to communicate it where it doesn't sound like that.
Right. Exactly.
Because the program is there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's this and that. Yeah, why? Because someone told you that was this and that. That's why. Somebody taught this is this and that. This is this and that. This is this and that. No, like that just got to be all stripped. And here's the bottom line: I was in a mess, and it stunk really bad, and I couldn't even smell it. Couldn't even freaking smell it.
Yeah.
Whoa! I came to this First Steps to Success. Whoa! Whoa! Is that me? Oh my gosh! I didn't know that was me. Right?
Yeah.
And then what you said is true. It's like they discover what has been stopping them. They discover where the fear was coming from. They discover how the mess got there. Their eyes are open, and then it's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh!
Change is
And
inspiring.
it's inevitable.
You know, I was telling Butch, inspire means in spirit. And when you're inspired, it's from the spirit. And that's what causes change. You're you're no longer acting on rules and things to do to change this or that, or to get this or that, or get rich or whatever. All of a sudden, like, what's really best for you is inspiring you. And that changes everything else.
That changes everything. It changes how you spend money. It changes how you plan for the future financially. It changes how you treat the people that are around you. And when you screw up, it also causes you to say, I'm sorry, really fast.
Right. Really.
Because you don't want to go back. You don't want to go back to that mess. Okay, we got to stop. Yes. Okay. So here you asked a really important question. And this is something that all of us in this room have got to do immediately. When we had our meeting 2 nights ago, I said, what's got to come off your list? Okay, so you guys need to spend a good 10 minutes or so, maybe 30 minutes to really look at everything that's on your list. So you said you had lots of different ads running, right? How do you pick which ones that you shouldn't be doing, or some of the things that you're talking about? And so this is right here. This data to me is the best way to see it. Yes. Okay, this to me, and this is just an example of data.
Well, there you have it. We let you in on 3 parts of a amazing journey in figuring out the next step. And I'm excited about you figuring out your next step. What did you think of those stories that were peppered in throughout today's video? Were you thinking, that can't possibly be true? Are you one of those holdout type of people? You know what I mean? The holdouts are like, that's not real. Yeah, sure, I don't believe it. You know, I don't think it'll work for me. Is that who you are? Well, guess what, friend? You're right. I don't even know why you watched the video. But if you sat through that video and you saw the passion and the discussion of some of my coworkers and myself working and churning things out as we chart our course moving forward towards 100 million lives by 2035 that we want to impact. And if something in you said, what if this is real? What if this is real, and what if this is for me? Well, if that's you, I'm so excited to work with you. We have an appointment, you and I. We have an appointment April the 12th through the 14th. This is time set aside for you and me, as well as for you to meet a group of people like those stories that you just heard. For you to test once and for all, is this real? You'll know within 10 minutes of that event starting, of First Steps to Success beginning, you'll know within 10 minutes whether you're sitting in the right place or not. After 3 days, friend, you're gonna have a solid plan. One that rivals all the wasted money that you have from the past, all the wasted time that you've wasted from the past, only to line somebody else's pockets as they count you as a butt in the seats. You're not that to us. You matter to us. We want to see you rise up, step up, and get more out of life. And who we're looking for is the person who's ready to roll up their sleeves and go to work. We have a 100% money-back guarantee, friend. You give us 3 days of your life and $7.99, and we guarantee you that in that 3 days, that if you promise to take notes ferociously, and you promise to implement what we show you, I promise I'm going to show you the same exact plan that Hans and I use to be completely financially independent, completely free. It's how I'm able to work as a volunteer within my own organization, where my salary is donated directly to freeing kids from the sex trade. Where when I go and I teach, when you and I get together for those 3 days, I don't get paid for doing that. But I do that because I believe in you, and there's a people that are called to your name. There is a people that are going to become financially independent because of you. There is a people that are going to be inspired to step up out of the rut of mediocrity and to do something better than what their family has done before them. You will be the one that inspires them to be different with their family and to groom their next generation for success. You will be the one that will inspire them to live a life of financial freedom, to learn how. You'll be the one that shows them what happens when someone learns how to grow their career, increase their sales in a business if they have one. You will be the one, the example of a marriage that people say, I want one just like that. That's who you will be if you give me 3 days. We have an appointment. I have some people I need to introduce you to, just like the ones you saw in this video. I have some things that I need to share with you that are simple, that if you bring your 12-year-old, your 9-year-old, even your 8-year-old along with you, they will know exactly how to hold you accountable and focused on this financial freedom plan. They'll know how to hold you accountable because now they're learning themselves and they're getting their own financial education, the one you should have gotten in school, the one you should have gotten at home being raised by your family, the one you should have gotten even at your church that they did not show you. They rather have taught you something else that is not usable. I'm not saying everything that you learned through high school or kindergarten or at home or at school or in college or at church was a waste. What I am saying is that those little bits of time did not equip you with what you truly need to have the life that you truly desire, the life you truly want, the life you must have. So here at DaniJohnson.com with First Step Success taking place April the 12th through the 14th, and that's a personal appointment that you and I have together, we will give you your money back after 3 days if you learned nothing. And we will also give you your money back 30 days later if you produced nothing with the training we gave you. If your bank account isn't fatter, if you're in business and your sales have not grown, if your marriage hasn't gotten hotter and more passionate and sweeter and more harmonious, we don't want your money. We don't want your money. It was a mismatch. So all that you have to lose is time, and you've already lost a lot of that. So the thing is, guaranteed, you get to have your old life back, or you get to have a brand new life. Are you willing to take the adventure to see what that's going to look like? Are you willing to take the step to see what the marriage is supposed to look like? What your finances will look like? Are you looking forward to May 15th with more money in your bank than what you expected? You will have it if you give me 3 days of your life, $799. Actually, I'll put in $200. You put in $599. Okay? It's a deal. 866-760-8255. Call it right now. 866-760-8255. $200 off of your ticket right now. $200 off. That $200 will pay for your plane ticket to fly from wherever it is that you need to fly from. That $200, done. Okay? I will put in $200 for you. You put in the $599. I will guarantee the $599. If you don't get the results that you need, I'm giving you your money back. You have nothing to lose. So let's change your life. Let's change every area of your life, and let's change it now, and let's change it fast. We guarantee it. God bless you. See you in a few weeks.